to get our Christmas crafting done. So, are you ready to see the project of the day? Here we go. Here is today's project of the day. Christmas begins with Christ. So this is my absolute favorite. I'm trying to shift, so perhaps I won't have so much shadow here. Let's see if I can do a better job. There we go. Christmas begins with Christ. Some of my friends have seen my mini pizza box scrapbooks. Today I'm here to share with you a really special one for Christmas. When you remove the belly band from this little pizza box, I'm going to open it up and share with you the reason for the season. Hark the herald angels sing. Glory to the newborn King with the beautiful images. For unto us a child is born. May his light shine in your heart throughout the year. Rejoice. Oh, come, let us adore him. So there is my extra special Christmas greeting. It is a 3.5 by 3.5 inch mini scrapbook. I have placed it in the mini pizza box. I'm going to be sharing with you the construction of this project. Not going to be stamping. I've pre-stamped, pre-cut all of the materials because I'm just pretty much going to show you how to assemble this beautiful gift. So here's my thought. This is a very mailable Christmas greeting. If you slip it into a padded envelope, it's not going to cost you any more than $3.50 to send in the mail. I'm getting some nice comments. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Marie. It's not that pricey to mail. The one thing I would do differently if I were to restart this from step one, on that final page, when I flip over, oh, come let us adore him, there are a couple of stamps that I haven't used from the stamp sets. I might add another page where I could write my beautiful message to my family, my friends that I'm gifting this extra special mini scrapbook to. If you are a grandparent, even a parent, I can honestly see sharing this with a young one, and I'm thinking as young as 6 years old. This is a wonderful way to learn how to read. The repetition, recognizing the words on each little page, it would just be awesome. It would be quite a moment of pride to hear a child read this story to me. So I'm thinking it's a keepsake. I have again shared with my team and some friends on how to make these. It's not that difficult. When you pull out the pages, you will see it's pretty much just accordion folding coming all the way up. And I'm going to share with you the tools that I use to create this. This is again a project that you could perhaps create with things that are already in your craft room. But I would love to share with you the products that I use. Most of them come from the mini catalog, the holiday catalog. I'm going to bring that aside and let me show you what I'm using. So the foundation of the reason for the season greeting card is the Peaceful Nativity. It has the beautiful stamps and it has the coordinating dies. And I have used most of the dies, most of the stamps in this bundle to create my story. There are the outlines so you could stamp down and then cut. There are also some die cuts that create that pretty stable. There are some cool elements with the palm trees, outlines for the little donkey and for the sheep, even for the sparkly stars. So the basis of the project is Peaceful Nativity. And I'll share with you another sentiment set from the same mini catalog that I've used. In conjunction with the sentiments that are in Peaceful Nativity, I chose For Unto Us. So here you can see our Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Oh Come Let Us Adore Him. This sentiment right here, I have not used in the mini scrapbook, sharing with you the glory, wonder, and miracle of this holy season. I think that that would be a wonderful sentiment either for your final page in your scrapbook or maybe in a tag for the scrapbook, or even your Christmas card greeting to accompany the mini pizza box story. Christmas Begins with Christ, I pulled that for the cover of my book. For Unto Us a Child is Born. So you can see in these two stamp sets the same wording. I chose this one. I loved the script, the flourishes in this imagery along with the words. So this one's special. This one kicks it up. We've got a lot of really awesome sentiments in this stamp set. So I think they kind of go together. I would definitely keep both of these in my craft room. The other things that I used, I needed something for labels for each page of my mini scrapbook. And so what I'm using are the tasteful, let's see, let me get the wording correct because sometimes I mess up the names of these sets. Sorry, it's the Tasteful Labels dies. So mostly I used this, it's about 2.5 inches, 2 inches high maybe. I used the one that's got little peaks on either side. And I used a wider one for one of the sentiments. So mostly my labels came from this Tasteful Labels die set. Of course, if you don't have it, you would want to get it. That would be my first thought. But really, you could make do with just cutting simple rectangles, maybe even circle punching the sentiments, just something to kind of set them off and make them pop off of your page. So that die set was awesome for the labels. And then I've used one more die set. I am using the Stitch Stars dies. So this was a set from last year's holiday catalog, and it did make it into the annual catalog. There are all kinds of stitched stars in this set. Some are just the outlines with the stitching, and some of them have that intricate detailing. I've used both in my mini scrapbook. So these were my tools that I created my mini scrapbook with. Let me share with you the amazing paper, which of course is one of the other factors that just adds to the beauty of this set. So I chose the Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series paper, and I have used a few of the patterns. They have this beautiful copper shininess to them. There is one that has the copper stars, and then there's one other that has, let's see if I can pull it up. It might be on the flip side, because we all know the amazing thing about these papers is they have two sides, and sometimes it's kind of hard to pick which one to use. So I use this pretty pattern here, this one here with the copper. They're still stars, but they're encased in like an octagon shape or hexagon shape. And then I've used the navy with the copper stars pattern. So that's the Brightly Gleaming paper. And I think that those materials pretty much make the project. So I'm going to share with you how I created them. This scrapbook. Let me come in and share with you. So first of all, you are going to need one mini pizza box. And these are an amazing deal in the annual catalog. You get 8 boxes, and I think there's as little as $6 a piece. So you'll need one box for each scrapbook. You need 6 pieces of 3 1/4 by 8 1/2 inch cardstock. I chose the Night in Navy, and it needs to be scored at 3 1/4 and 6 1/2. So you need 6 of those. So I'm going to push those aside for just a second. Next, I need my squares that are going to decorate my box. So I need, let's see, these measure 3 inches square. These are the star patterns, and we need 4 of those, looks like. So 4 of the star patterns measuring 3 inches square. I'm also using that pattern that has the star encased in the shape, and this one measures 2 3/4. Let me just check to make sure that you're getting all of this on screen. Let's see, I think we've got it all on there. So this one measures 2 3/4, and we need 5 of them. So 3, and whoops, let's see. Whoops, I think I made a mistake here. Let me see if I can omit that. There we go. And for the cover, I'm using that multicolored pattern. It's got still the copper foiling in it. This one measures 3 1/4 square, and I've got one of the patterns with the, looks like pretty peacock and gold, and this one measures 2 3/4. So there's my pattern paper from Brightly Gleaming. I also need some copper squares measuring 3 inches. It looks like I've got 6 of them. So 6 copper squares. Then I need 5 of these labels from the Tasteful Labels die set, and I have pre-stamped them all with sentiments from those 2 coordinating stamp sets. I need 1 of the banner dies. I pre-stamped with Rejoice. And then finally I need 1 that's the wider label. You can see I needed it because it's a very big, it's a bigger sentiment, very horizontal. So 1 of those. I've got some die cuts from the Peaceful Nativity set, and I went ahead and stamped 3 of the Mary, Jesus, and Joseph images, and I stamped them in early espresso on crumb cake cardstock. I stamped and cut 1 sheep and 1 donkey, and then I've got 3 of the framework of the stable, and I've cut 2 crumb cake, 1 soft suede, and then I have 1 that has the framework, framework of the stable, and this is in soft suede, so I'm going to be using those on various pages of my scrapbook. And then lastly, looks like I've got 1 copper stitch star, and then I've got 2 of the smaller decorative stars and 1 of the medium stars. So those are the elements that I'm going to be using to create my pages. Now let me share with you how I've done that. So I'm going to build my squares starting with the cover. So the cover is just going to go on. Let's see if I can just shift this over a little bit without creating too big of a mess. I've got it kind of organized here. I'm going to push those aside and bring them in and share with you how I've built this. So I know that there are going to be some who ask about a PDF. I do not have a PDF for this. As you watch, you're going to see it kind of makes sense. You can alter the design. You can, of course, put in different images than the ones I've chosen, or even different sentiments and greetings in a different sequence. Either way, it's going to make a really special greeting. So this 2 3/4 inch pattern goes on the 3-inch copper cut, and I just use my Stampin' Seal Plus. This is going to be mounted onto the multicolored pattern here, again with the Seal Plus. I'm leaving about an 1/8 inch border all sides. And I'm going to bring in my mini pizza box. There are 2 sides to the pizza box. One is a glossy side, one is the dull side. And let's see, I'm going to want this on the cover, so I'm going to flip it around. This will be my cover. Let's see. Let me think this through. It goes this way. I had it correct the first place. So it's the one with the little tab here. And I'm just going to go ahead and mount that straight on there, just kind of to eliminate some of the pieces. And you can see it's all going to come together easily once you've done the prep and you have everything ready to go. So there's my cover, and I can set that pizza box aside. I'm going to come in for the front page of the scrapbook. This is going to be mounted on the 3-inch copper square. And let's see if I can just pull in to check and see how I'm doing here. I want to make sure that I'm within your view. I know sometimes I get a little out of screen and you can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so I've got my 3-inch copper square. On this goes the star pattern. It is flat adhered. And I'm just gonna, again, mount that right in the center. And I am using Stampin' Seal Plus. You know I love my Tombow liquid glue because it's more forgiving. This Seal Plus is not so forgiving, but I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope that I land in the right spot the first time. So I've got it mounted on copper. I've got my star pattern. Next, this is where Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Again, flat adhesive. So the key to making this little project quickly is to prep, have your die cuts ready to go. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a helper helping me out with all of these things so that I would be well organized, not too confused, because it doesn't take a lot to confuse me. Most of you know that. Okay, so I've got my square number 1 built. Square number 2 is gonna continue on with more sentiment. Still a copper square, still the star pattern. You know you've got the right one when you flip it over and there are stripes on the back. All right, so I think that this is a really touching greeting scrapbook or card, and I hope that you will enjoy it as much as I do. I think of certain people when I get gifts like this, really important people in my life, when I read these sorts of things and kind of cherish these little treasures. So Glory to the Newborn King, there we go. There's page number 2. The next page I'm going to do is an image page. This one has the scene in the manger. So I've got my, sorry, don't need my copper square on that one. I need my 3-inch starred pattern. And I am going to be building the scene on here. First of all, I'm going to pull my manger framework. This one is going to be mounted using liquid glue, and I'm just going to use a tiny bit. It would have been great if I had used my adhesive sheets. So easy, not so messy, but I didn't. So here I am struggling with the messiness, not wanting to get it on my hands. And I'm just gonna have to be really careful. Remember, do not put a lot of the liquid glue. It will ooze out and make a mess of your project. And yet, you know I love it. It's the most forgiving adhesive. Have I said that before? How many times? Like every day, right? All right, so I'm just gonna kind of center that right in. I'm gonna come in with my Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And again, flat adhesive. So this one's easier to do. I'm not trying to get it on tiny pieces or scraps. And I'm gonna offset it slightly to the right so that I have a little bit of room for one of the animals. I'm gonna bring in my little sheep. Remember, that was stamped using early espresso and cut with the outline die. Just gonna place that right in position there. Okay, so there's my next page ready to go. And then the next page is another sentiment that says, "For unto us a child is born." So I'm going to bring that in. I need my copper layer. I need my starred layer and flat adhesive. Going to flip that over, have about an 1/8 inch border all the way around. And flat adhesive again. These tasteful labels are awesome. If you don't have these dies in your stash, you will want them. They accommodate so many greetings from small to wider. Now I'm going to decorate this page, "For unto us a child is born," with a couple of my detail stars. So I'm going to see if I can put one of the larger ones at the bottom, a smaller one up at the top. So there we go. And again, This would have been perfect for with a adhesive sheet. Should have thought about that before I was doing my die cutting. I'm going to put one glue dot right in the middle and use my paper snips to lift that into position. And here's the thing with the little stars. You do want to make sure you kick out all those small pieces so that the detail comes through. And you could use your pick a tool to do that, or you saw me just using my paper snips, so that works as well. I do want to put a little bit of glue on the edges of the star as well, just to hold that in place so that it doesn't get caught on anything. I have offered the suggestions with this mini pizza box. It also works as a mini scrapbook to remember any special day or occasion, putting photos in it, maybe a little handwritten journaling to go along with it also makes a beautiful gift. And let's see, I'm going to use my smaller star, place it up at the top, and truth be told, I'm going to be looking to cover up. There's a tiny smudge at the top of that swirl, so I'm going to try and cover that up. That is easily doable with a little tiny piece of this star, or another thing that covers up those small errors are rhinestones. But let's see, this is going to be perfect right there. So that is the next page. One more page of the manger, so I need to bring in my 3-inch starred square. This time I'm going to put one of those cute little palm trees that are part of this die set. We have a little of the leafery, and these are silhouetted, so I cut them in soft suede. You could do 2 cuttings, one green, one soft suede, but honestly, because this is like a nighttime scene, I think one color is perfect for the silhouette. And I placed it way at the top and far left. So the next thing I'm going to bring in is, again, the framework of my stable. This time I'm using crumb cake. So how many of you have this set? And was there anyone that actually purchased this one yet? This project has been in my head since the first time I saw the stamp set in the catalog. And it just took some discipline to finally get cracking on it and get it done. And I love the way it came together. And breaking it down into the steps also makes it easily doable. So now I'm going to put my manger down here, almost to the bottom, just leaving like a tiny 1/8 inch at the bottom there. I want a little bit of space for another one of the barn animals. I'm going to bring in my Mary, Jesus, and Joseph again. Flat adhesive, so simple. And this time I'm pushing them to the far left. So Mary's almost centered in the door of the manger there. And then I'm going to bring in the little donkey and flat adhesive as well. Bring it right to the forefront of the scene. And there we go. I've got my next page done. Let's see. So the next page is May His Light Shine in Your Heart Throughout the Year. I need that copper square. I need my star pattern. Flat adhesive. My favorite is the Seal Plus when I'm using the dispenser. So there we go, about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. My sentiment is going to be flat adhered. There we go. And another page done. So let me push these over so I can have these in sequence here. And next page says rejoice, and it is an imagery page, so I'm just going to use my 3-inch star pattern. I'm going to put my rejoice right here at the bottom. And my star, let's see, there it is, up underneath something. So I was already ready to call 911. I thought my star was missing. Here we go. Okay, so I've got my stitched star, was pre-cut. I'm going to put a little bit of flat adhesive on it. Push it right in to the upper right. And I want to make this one really special. So I'm going to bring in one of the detailed stars and layer it right over. So mini glue dot right in the middle. And a tiny drop of liquid glue. And I am going to be sharing with you today's gift idea as well, and the gift with purchase for today. Thank you to those who are taking advantage of my offers. I have shoppers ordering the supplies for some of these projects, and that gets me really excited, because when I share something with you and you actually care to reproduce it, that's the reason I'm doing these lives. It's been a stretch because, you know, usually I just come live once a week. It's been a little bit more work to come on daily along with my project that I'm offering you. So to see your response and to see you ordering the supplies to make these projects yourself, that's again the reason that I'm doing this. These are projects that you could do. If I can do them, you can do them. I am an avid crafter, but my skill level's probably just medium. There we go. I've got my pretty star on there. My next page is done, so let me bring that over. I'm going to continue on. My next page is a sentiment page, so it's going to be based on the copper square, the star pattern. And so be sure to mention when you log in that you're here. I hope you're enjoying the project. I hope that you will make this project and tell me what you think. It's really a very simple project. I give you the measurements and how many you need of each piece, and it's easily duplicatable. Now the last thing I'm going to put on here is my sentiment, "Oh come let us adore him." It is flat adhered. I'm going to put it right towards the middle of this panel, and you're going to see it peeks off the page. That's okay, it's still going to clear in the box. My next page is done, and I have one final page to do, which is an image page. And I'm going to be using, if I have them, a couple of palm trees for the background. And I'm actually going to snip the trunks off. I don't need that long trunk. I just want the leaves to peek through above the stable. So liquid adhesive way up at the top. And I'm going to put in a second palm off to the right, bringing it down just a tiny bit. And now I'm going to add the roof line to my stable, and I pre-cut this in soft suede. A little bit of flat adhesive all the way around, bring it all the way down to the bottom here, so you can see the palm trees are just peeking out above the roof line. And I've got one more stable to add. Here's the framework with all the wood on the stable. Liquid adhesive. I just want to get it in the important parts so that the edges are stuck down. And today is Cyber Monday. I have to confess, I have not done any shopping since Black Friday. I haven't been in one oh, you know what? That's a lie. I was at Hobby Lobby this morning. I was buying a tool that I needed for a gift. And so that's been the extent of my shopping. All right, I am going to add my Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, the stars of this project, the reason for this season. This is an awesome project to share with a grandchild. Have them read you the story over and over, and you can call it a reading lesson. They will be able to recognize the words in no time. All right, so that's my last page. The next thing I'm going to do is share with you how I put the actual pages together. I'm going to bring back in these 6 pieces of Night of Navy cardstock. They have been pre-cut and pre-scored. They measure 3 1/4 across, 8 1/2 inches long. I need my bone folder. What I'm going to be doing is folding them, and they are Z-folded, meaning one direction, the other direction. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish it down so that it stays put. And I am going to, let's see if I can get these out of the way. So here's how it opens up. You will notice the last flap is just a 2-inch flap. I want to put adhesive on the back of that flap. And I'm going to be using my Seal Plus. So put on some adhesive there. And what I do next, I'm going to attach it to my next page, to the back. Let's see, so this one's going to go facing forward, folding it and Z-folding it, burnishing, and what I want it to do is connect here. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. I don't want to mess or lead you astray. There we go. Opens up, and then this one, yikes. I want to make sure I've got it right. Z, so Z, 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 and then this one goes to this end here. So it's going to go right behind the flap. So here's the non-folding flap. It's going to be adhered here, right up to the score line. There we go. All right. So now you can see it's going to fold, 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 comes back this way, and it's going to fold this way as well. So adhesive again on the back of the 2-inch strip. And I'm going to bring in my next piece. So let me score that down. And I need my 3-inch square. I need the non-folded side there. And this one's going to go, let's see. See what I mean about me getting confused easily? I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Here we go. So let's see, I think I do it this way. Right here, I might have to refold that the other direction. And let's see, I need my Seal Plus here. I need my, so I'm connecting the 2-inch rectangle to the 3-inch rectangle again, right down here. And here, so I think it's much easier if you do it, connect before folding. How about that? The folds make a little bit more sense that way. And one last page, coming down here. I do want to see that, there we go. Just fold it slightly so we can see that score line to abut it. All right, so let's bring it back in. So first folding forward and back, Z-fold it the entire time. And there we go. And I'm going to burnish that down with my bone folder. Each fold, you can kind of hear it folding. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and add my pages. And I'm going to start with page 1 that begins right here, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, flat adhesive. It goes right in the front. It's going to go centered, so you have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Open that up, and we're going to get our first sentiment. Glory to the newborn King. And again, let's see. Voila. And then I have my art that's going to go right below that. And I'm going to insert this right here. I already hear it. There we go. The next sentiment is, for unto us a child is born. And I have another stable image. You will notice that I did not color any of these images. I think the beauty of them shines through with just the inking. You could, of course, stamp them on maybe Whisper White and color them in with blends or pencils. I chose just to do an outline inking. And my star image right in through here. And there we go, right there. And you know what? I think I added 1 extra pages. I knew I was going to add extra for my sentiment. Looks like I've got even more than I need here. I do, because I only wanted 1 extra one. So I've got a whole extra sheet in here. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. I am going to cut one off. I do want that extra one so I can sign my greeting. But I added 1 more panel that I needed. Let's see if I can just snip that off. What I'm going to do, let's see if I can cut that right here. And the way this gets secured to the box, I have 1 Whisper White heavyweight cardstock square. It's 3 1/4. And here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and construct my pizza box. These are all pre-scored. They even have the little tabs, so it makes it easy to construct. You just want to fold in on all the score lines. Bring in those little walls. And there we go. Push that through. Bring those up. And they do have tabs to help you keep your box in position. And then this one's going to come up this way. Gets folded over at the top. Sides come down. And the way this gets secured to the box is with the 3 1/4 inch square. I am going to just adhere that down So I'm going to take that final 2-inch tab, I'm going to place it right in the box here. This is going to get secured right in place here. And let's make sure, let's see, I think the measurement's correct, but I'm not getting it on here nicely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to adhere the white to the colored cardstock. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back here to keep those together. Right in through here. So flat aligned there. This now needs adhesive on the back. This is what's going to be secured into the box to hold it in place. So you can use the Snail Plus. I'll do that. That's a lot quicker. Fold that back. Make sure it's going the right side up. It's going to be pushed right into the box, and you can go ahead and burnish it down. So this is the final page. There we go. We're almost done. Here we go. Almost done. I'm going to push in the sides of the box and the lid of the box to close it up. Then I have a belly band that measures 1 inch by 10 inches, and all I'm going to do is wrap this around. I'm not even going to pre-measure, pre-score. I'm going to wrap it all the way around and pretty tight, fairly tight. And what I'm going to do next is now that I have where it needs to be scored down, I'm just going to take my bone folder and flatten out those folds so that they look a lot nicer and they fold a lot more easily. And one more. Now I'm going to bring this back in, wrap it around my box, and I'm going to put some liquid adhesive on 2 sides right here. One there, and I'm going to bring it off and put it there. There we go. Right in through here. Bring it in nice and tight. My cover is going to be attached with some Stampin' Dimensionals, so I'm just going to put 2 on the back. Adhere it to the belly band. And one last thing, we're ready to embellish. So I'm going to start off on my cover, and I'm using the champagne rhinestones, the basic jewels. These are your gift with purchase, so qualifying purchase of $50 today before noon tomorrow receives a package of these rhinestones. I'm going to put one right over the eye in Christmas, and then a couple on the little branch. There we go. Now we need to embellish on the inside as well. So here we go. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put a little sparkle on that star. Flip the page. I have another star to add some sparkle to. Whoops, that one kind of went astray. Hold that down. Let's see. And then let's see. I'm going to flip, and I have a couple of stars that need some extra shine right in the center. Turn the page. I've got a couple more stars I want to put a little more bling onto. So let me start up with the smaller star up at the top, and then that nice copper star on the image page right in the center. Flip it, and I've got another star to embellish right up here at the top. and my final page. You will want to put maybe some 3-inch Whisper White squares on here to write your Christmas greeting. You might even want to include a couple of the sentiments that I didn't use in this stamp set. There's a beautiful sentiment in For Unto Us. May your heart be lifted in praise this Christmas for the wonderful gift of Jesus and the joy he brings to our lives. That would be the perfect final sentiment to add along with your signature. So there you go. There's our extra special holiday greeting, the reason for the season. It can be a mini scrapbook to share with someone, or it can be your Christmas greeting for the year. And finally add the belly band. And I tend to go from the top and push your box in all the way so that it comes around easily. It slips on much easier. Whoops, kind of getting stuck on a layer up here, which means I need a little bit more adhesive on that layer, that DSP layer. It's kind of stuck on there. Slide it down. Much easier to bring the belly band from the top than from the bottom. I think it's a little bit thicker at the bottom here. So here is day 6 of the 12 days of Christmas. The reason for the season, a mini pizza box, story of Christmas. It can be a greeting card or it can be a mini scrapbook for someone. I hope that you'll make this project.